Hey there, welcome to Contracts and Chaos. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to tell you that you are not alone in the mayhem of this real estate industry.
We're keeping it real and sharing our stories, strategies, and successes in today's real estate world.
So come join us every Tuesday while we talk contracts and chaos.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. We are
We are
talking.
recording.
Yeah, we are
What?
talking. We are recording. What are we talking
We
about
are
today, Alyssa?
We are recording after meeting with Taylor, but when we went tactical with her in that episode, she gave us a really great piece of advice because we asked her, hey, you've picked out, actually I have the notes literally right in front of me still, that there's two gaps, two sections of realtors. It's the people who do 6 to 12 transactions a year, and then the people who do 13 to 60, who usually get stuck in that range and can't figure out how to hit that next tier. And so we asked, what's the number one piece of advice, that lower tier, those people who are doing the 6 to 12, the 5 to 15, who can't hit that next level? And she said, the only thing you should be focusing on is lead gen. You don't need to be worried about your branding. You don't need to be worried about other things. It should be lead gen all the time. And I can't disagree with her. I can't at all. It doesn't need to be a new CRM or a new logo or another certification. It is lead generation. So we want to talk about that today. What are some things we think you should do for lead gen? And what is a productivity trap? A lot of us are like, oh, we're so busy. I'm doing all the things. But if you really tracked it, if you really looked at what you're doing, are you actually doing active lead gen or are you just staying busy?
Yeah, yeah, and we have an episode, gosh, just before this one, I think, that talks about, are you busy or are you building a business, right?
Right.
Because so many times we just get stuck in this, like, well, I sat at my computer desk all day long. But
Mm-hmm.
what did we actually get done, right? So I love Taylor's story as well because she she went from selling, I think she sold what, 26 houses her first year to then like a billion.
Yes.
It just happened that fast.
A
But
billion.
it's because she wasn't so focused on what's the best CRM, how should I lay out my leads, how should I present my listing packet, like all of these things that people get stuck in the tiny details. Instead, she was getting clients, right? The people with clients win over
Yep.
your pretty spreadsheet or your whatever you're using because they're the ones that are bringing money in the door. You know what I mean?
Right. And then you figure out sometimes what your systems are while you're with those clients. Like,
Hmm.
okay, I picked this up here, I picked that up there. You know what? This type of client, I realize they don't like when I send them the chocolates that my TC sends because I didn't know they were vegan and don't eat sugar. You pick up those things.
Yep.
So
And
I
say it's one
agree.
of those things you could like pay off of Etsy or for a coaching, like a template, like something that and then you get in there and you start using, you're like, I don't do any of this stuff, right? This doesn't
Right?
apply to what I'm doing with my clients. So it is kind of I mean, I built my business one step at a time, like I figured out what works. When I'm doing the same thing over and over, you create a template for it. You
Right.
make it a repeatable process, but you don't have to have that system in place before you get a client, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And I remember, and you know what? I owe this woman an apology. Alfie, if you're listening, I owe you a bit of an apology. Um, I remember asking, because when I came into real estate, I remember asking my first broker in charge, what are the steps? What's the process? And she told me it's different every time. There isn't one. Now,
Hmm.
Alfie, I'm going to say this. There's a couple steps we could have maybe put into a semi template at that
Hmm.
point, but she's right. It's different. At the same time, you can build that outline. You can make it repetitive. And yeah, okay. One of my lists says send the coloring sheets and moving boxes for kids. So if they don't have kids, okay, take that
Yeah,
out.
doesn't exist. Right, right. Take that
But,
out.
it's still in there for the clients that do. So there's the list of things. But let's not harp on that. Let's go into what does count. We're not always successful, but we're trying very hard to be more efficient with our time and your time. So,
Hmm.
what does count as prospecting, Brenna?
Well, so I think that the other thing with real estate agents, people think prospecting or lead gen and they think cold calling, right? Which is
Blech.
true for some agents. Like, listen, I was a cold caller for almost 4 years, right? That's where I found my clients. But it worked, you guys. You can like, yeah, I don't like cold calling. I didn't like cold calling either, but guess what? It paid the bills, right?
Yep.
It worked for me. It doesn't necessarily mean cold calling. We've gone over this in the podcast before that maybe your lead gen is working the PTO table at the elementary school. Maybe
Right.
your lead gen is sending out handwritten cards. Maybe it's on Facebook building like actual conversations, not just, scrolling and liking and researching on those shorts or the reels or whatever. We all know how that happens. But there's two I guess there's two groups, I guess, when I hear people talking about lead gen. I feel like there's the old school prospectors, right? And then I think there's the more like modernized, like the hippie, like happy version
I
of
think the
prospecting.
tech friendly.
The okay,
Like,
tech forward,
yeah.
and not even just tech friendly, but like very tech facing. Like that's what they're centered around because
Yes.
there are a lot of agents in our area that are, gosh, I think the average age, I think that I just saw on a post somewhere is like 58 for agents in like North Carolina, which I mean is not surprising, but a lot of those people are doing calls to their past clients, to their sphere, right? They're working those
Hmm.
organic relationships that they built their business on for all of these years. There's still a lot of people that are doing open houses, which we've talked about this before, if you do an open house correctly, you can get leads. There are people that only build their business off of open houses. I just listened to a podcast recently. I wish I could remember which one it was, that she did 56 open houses one year, right? And
That's
closed
every weekend and then some.
right and closed 35 deals.
That's impressive.
That's not a bad ROI on an open house,
Mm-mm.
right?
Yeah,
But
if that's
it was
especially if that's all she was doing, that's
right, and she
impressive.
was not going in and just like popping a sign out front the moment she walked in the door. There was a lot of work behind that open house, right? I know Alyssa likes expired listings. I need to get into expired listings. I do because the for sale by owner percentage right now is the lowest it's ever been. There's not a lot of owners trying to do this themselves because they've
No.
realized that there is a lot more behind selling a home than just sticking a cardboard sign in their yard with a Sharpie marker, you know?
Yes, unless you're Miami dude 999 or whoever on TikTok, and he'll tell you you can buy a Rolls Royce and for $23. So, I've yet to have him in my comments. That's when you know you've made it on TikTok.
Mm,
But yeah, there's YouTube content. It could be making your YouTube video and not even just making it and posting it, but sharing it in different groups,
hmm
making sure it's in the places. If you're people moving to Hickory, then you're putting it in the moving to North Carolina group, or you're, sharing at different spots. It could be even like client appreciation events. Tell them
yeah.
to bring a friend. It doesn't have to be someone who's thinking of buying it. Tell them to bring a friend or their neighbor. Like, that's a great way. Honestly, your sign in the yard is a good prospecting. My client told me yesterday that someone drove by her house and I'm selling neighbor's house across the street and took a picture of both signs. I was like, well, either you're going to get an HOA violation or someone wants to use me. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
My
see what
phone hasn't rung
happens.
yet, but
Absolutely.
um,
Yeah, and we have
yeah,
an
and
episode. We have a listener that dropped us a little note and asked us for some help on something. So, we're having episode 2 regarding like local business partnerships and how you can leverage those
yes,
as far as like helping to support your business as well, right? Because
right,
I mean, there's a local coffee shop that actually they have sleeves that go over their hot coffees, and one side had their logo on it and the other side had like a local, it was like a builder company that had stamped on the back of I'm like, how simple is that, and how like
yeah.
easy for
You
those.
just help pay for the sleeves.
That's right. Yep,
That's easy.
absolutely.
So let's make a clear, and maybe you said this and I missed it, a clear definition though, or difference between prospecting and marketing. What's the difference?
Prospecting, I think, is very active. Marketing is, well, I guess marketing's active too. What I'm trying to say is like prospecting is you need to be involved, right? This isn't usually a set it and forget it system unless you're like paying for Zillow leads and you're waiting for a lead to come in.
Right, and just
Prospecting
calling them.
is actually in the trenches, right? You having those conversations, you getting in front of people and being the person that you are, answering questions, answering dumb questions in like Facebook groups, like who's the best dentist in Hickory, right? I mean, GTS, right? Google that shit. And then give them the answer that Google gave you.
Exactly. So to me, marketing creates awareness, prospecting creates conversations. So a
Mm,
billboard creates awareness, but being in that Facebook group creates conversations.
sure.
That's the difference to me,
I think that that's a good point
right? So
because you
yes,
want
one is
people
a
to
little more passive, one's
recognize,
active.
right? You want people to recognize and like realize that your business is out there. And then you come behind it with the prospecting part that like just backs it all up.
Right. So like here's some creative ideas for prospecting. Invite your friends or other small business owners to go get coffee or host a weekly or monthly coffee meetup with other local business owners just to talk about what's going on in the world in general. They may not even be in real estate, but as a small business owner, y'all have something in common.
Hmm. Yeah. There's
You
an
could,
agent that I know that does a content day. She's out of state, but they do a content day, but it's not just for real estate agents. It's for small business owners, right? They do like
right.
little clips and videos and headshots and things like that. And they all just do them together. They don't do like a photographer or anything like everyone just comes and like helps each other out, get
I
content.
love it. It's like a hot girl walk for content. That's a
It's
genius
it's
idea.
so cool. And it again, all of these local business owners are together once a month, right? And getting to know each other and getting to know each other's businesses and what they do and what they're excited about. And then when you're sharing that with your clients, you can share what they're excited about too and be excited about it.
Yeah.
Like that's the best thing. A cold recommendation. I mean, sometimes a lot of times it works, honestly, because people like to be recommended. But if you can say, so and so owns this home inspection company. It's husband and wife team. Like, and you can share a little bit about them and their story. That's I feel like
Yep.
that's better always.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep it simple. It could be, hey guys, I'm taking my dog to the dog park Saturday. Does anyone want to go?
Mhm.
Yeah. Or hey, I'm going to work from this coffee shop today. There's only big tables there. Anyone want to meet me to co-work? Like you don't even have to talk. Like I mean, you will. We all know you will. But you can put that in there and be like, it
Yep.
doesn't have to be formal. It could be a charity drive. You know, I did one for many years that I need to pick back up. Is doing the food drive
Mhm.
around Thanksgiving. That was a great way, even to just get contact information because I had them email me or text me, and then I got their name, their address, and contact information. It was
Yep.
great.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
you want to be connecting. You don't, like you said, you don't want to be selling. You want to be the connector.
and before you
Now
say,
there's
I don't have time to schedule and host and do all these things, there is somebody in your community that is doing these events, right? So if
yep,
you are not being the one that is like putting it together, be the one that goes and supports and is involved, right?
yes,
Don't show up, sit in the corner and not talk to anybody and then leave and say that you went to a networking event. Go and be a part of that community. Maybe help them coordinate the next one, right? We're not
right,
asking you to reinvent the wheel, or if you have something local to you that does actively do something like this, to try to like make your own, right? But it's just being aware of your resources and what you're able to do to create those leads.
yeah. I did it. So I did it Friday and Saturday night last week. So I'm involved with a local group. We're trying to get more awareness of the positives of where I live. And Friday night was Ebony Fest. So I was downtown creating content. I'm walking up to strangers saying, hey, can I take your picture? Hey, do you mind if I do this? Happened to meet two different business owners downtown. I didn't know they were the business owners. Got to meet them, connect with them, already tagged on Instagram. Then Saturday night, someone offered me free tickets to a baseball game. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know anyone who would want to go. Do I want to? And I was like, no, I've been wanting to go. Go by yourself. Like it's a
Mhm.
15-minute walk. Go do this. And I got there, was doing the same thing, taking content, all the things, and then ran into the group that apparently was giving the tickets out. And they're like, hey, come sit with us. I was like, oh, I'm standing. It's okay. And then I was like, no, this guy runs the Gaston Business Association, you
Yeah.
dumb dumb. Go sit next to him. And I
Go be
did. And I made
social, Alyssa.
yeah, I made two new connections. Like one
Mhm.
guy who was trying to FISBO over
Yep.
on 3rd Avenue, And one guy, he's retired from the bank, but still has amazing connections.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, this was worth even 10 minutes with them.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be formal. Now, there is a strategy Brenna has been embracing that I think is going well for her, the hyper local content. And I've been trying to get better at this.
It does
But
work.
Brenna,
People really love
yeah,
it. Because and you get people, my focus right now with it is trying to connect with relocation clients, right? But the people who already live here are also excited about it too. So these are great if you're doing like a neighborhood spotlight, local businesses. Again, if you're supporting these people and you're tagging and sharing, and like I had a lash lift and tint done at a beauty bar in Newton, and I created something about them and tagged them on Instagram, and the owner called me and was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much for supporting." And like, I didn't realize that you were a real estate agent. Also, I have a question for you about this beach rental that I have in Wilmington, which I don't know Wilmington, but
no, but you
that's
can connect her and get a referral. Like,
correct. Things
which is
can
funny because I'm getting a lash lift and tint on Thursday because another creator needs models. So she's like, if you'll let me film you and post it. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but
So
it's one of
yeah,
the
it's gonna be the same
community
thing.
events. So it can be as simple again, like go to the farmers market and take some content and share like this is what your Saturday in Hickory can look like, right?
Yep.
And different things like that, different neighborhoods, different school areas, different like lake access. I'm just trying to think of different things that you could possibly throw out there. But it is good. People will share that stuff because it's where they live. It's what they love. If
Well,
there's a little clip of a park that they love to go to, they share that, and
yeah,
that
I
just
did
drives
one.
conversations.
I have one I'm going to post today about walking to the baseball stadium. One of the things people complain about is it's not walkable or like driving is a pain.
Hmm.
So I'm going to be like, here, look, like I walked from my house and I documented it. Here's what it's like to walk to a baseball game on a Saturday night in Gastonia.
Yep.
Like it's easy and people they're searching the towns, they're searching the things. Like I posted one there there was a fight or not a fight, a ref or no, a coach got ejected by an ump at this game. Literally 2 minutes before it happened, the guy I was sitting with was telling us, "Oh, there's a famous YouTube video of this guy from like 16 years ago getting kicked out of a baseball game." He's like, "I wonder if it'll happen again tonight." So I was like, "Oh, phone out. Hold on." And sure enough, the coach comes out of the dugout, goes up to the ump, and I was already finger on the button. Here we go. So I just spliced that with 16 years ago in Indiana. Here he is tonight. I have 3,000 views on TikTok, which may
Hmm.
not be a lot for some people. My TikToks never go anywhere. My Instagram does. I have a kitten video with 60,000 views on it right now. But it tied it back to Gastonia, and now it got put on the local page, and people local to me are commenting. So now I can follow them. They can follow me.
Hmm.
Like it's those things. So when I do put out real estate content, it I'm still in their algorithm.
Speaking of algorithm, I think it's important to talk about other prospecting methods that you should be utilizing because we don't want all of our leads to be coming from one bucket, right? We're not telling
Yes.
you to try to get leads from 12 different buckets, but you need to diversify a little bit because what if, remember Facebook had a blackout a couple of years ago, right? We didn't have Facebook for like 2 days or something like that, and the world almost ended. Maybe
It
that's a little
happened last
dramatic.
week. I couldn't get it. Was it last week or the week before? It would not load properly. And I was like, okay, well, here I go over to my CRM to send an email instead of post a video.
Right, because if we took away social media, there are some agents that have never prospected outside of that, right? And
Hmm.
you need to know how to be able to generate business if there's no internet, is basically what we're telling you. So, what are a few things that you would revert to? I know you said that you'd pull up your CRM and send an email. So,
Yep.
what would you use?
Mine is definitely sending emails. I've gotten into Flowdesk and started sending stuff from there, which I have to fix because I sent too many at once and now Gmail bounces me. But or calling your database. It could be go through that CRM and if you have people tagged and saved correctly, or even just people you remember and go, I remember them saying they wanted a remodeled brick ranch. Guess what? I just saw one. Or hey, I know I have an investor who's going to redo one. It should be ready in 6 months. Let me give
Mhm.
them a heads up so that they can consider if they want to sell their house. It could be consistent open houses. Let's go back old school. In my community, I would not do door knocking. Some
I don't like
communities you
door
can't.
knocking at all. That just makes me,
This day and age,
no, the world makes
I
me
think it's
nervous.
too risky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it could be sending birthday cards. Do you know how many texts I get when people are like, oh my God, you remembered? It's sending St. Patrick's Day cards. I got
Hmm.
texts for that. Thank you so much. The kids loved the charm. I had one person, oh my God, my son loved the sticker on the back. So you know what? And she's never going to be a client. She's an agent that lives 15 minutes from me. But you know what I did to nurture that relationship? Victoria, I know you're listening. Took all the different stickers I have. I have happy birthdays, I have St. Patrick's Day, I have Christmas, shoved a bunch of them in an envelope and shipped them to her son.
Hmm.
And he was ecstatic.
Yes.
It's little things like that. It could just be asking for a referral. Go into the groups, search for the old posts about it, reach out to those agents, get their email addresses, keep them on a market update. I mean, I get some from agents and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't have anyone there now, but it keeps them top of mind for when I do have someone in Atlanta or, Savannah or somewhere like that.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
a great way.
I think it
Referrals are
also,
golden, guys.
well, and while we're talking about referrals, and this does tie back into social media, but if you're being tagged in groups, don't just say, "Hey, yes, I work that area. I'd love to chat," right? Especially in the local Facebook groups, not necessarily the agent to agent referral groups. I find it so much better if you go in with like a dose of good information, right? Here's what I have, here's what I can give you. Call me, text me, here's a link, right? Like
Yep.
all of the things. And then
Yes.
if you don't get a connection with that person, this has happened 3 times. I have 3 clients that have found me on social media from Facebook groups that they never posted in because they
Yes.
saw me tagged and they saw my responses to those tags, right? One of
And I
them
always
was a
put something
client
like,
relocating from Germany. From Germany.
nice. That's a good one. Mine, I always put like, what sets me apart? Hey, I eat, sleep, work, and play in Gaston County. It's
Hmm.
it's literally my backyard. And while I am a solo agent, I'm organized enough that the only time your clients should need a showing agent is if I'm traveling.
Hmm.
Or, if I am super busy, but I keep my buyer pool small so that my active buyer pool, so I'm never not available. And an agent told me I got a referral. One, because of that, I was the first person she asked to have a conversation with. And then the conversation with her was just us chatting. Like, okay, she asked me some very specific questions. But then it was, she's like, I actually really like you. And if I like you and want to be your friend, I know my clients will.
Hmm.
So just be you with a little extra, like a little
Yep.
oomph to make sure that your personality comes through.
Ultimately, there is no financial issue that you have that can't be fixed with like 2 hours of lead gen a day,
Right. And
right?
and it doesn't have to be like, yes, my expireds require postage. But I
Hmm.
could also just pull tax records and find phone numbers and call people. It
Hmm.
takes longer, but you could do it that way. It could be, what? I print the thing and I drive it to their house or I walk it over because it's in the neighborhood.
Hmm.
It could be like, it doesn't have to be, ex- expensive. It could be digging through Facebook posts or, going into the groups and introducing yourself or sending an
You could
email.
do a Facebook or Instagram live about homeownership or buyer information on Instagram Live, right? Like you could do some, it doesn't not have to cost you money. If you don't have money, what is the saying that's like, if you don't have time, you have money, and if you have money, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't invest money, you have time to invest, and if you don't have the time to invest, then you have money to invest. Have you heard that
Yes,
one?
something like
Yeah,
that.
something along
Yeah.
those lines. I forget how it actually goes, but basically, that's you invest your time because your time is worth money, obviously, right? And 2 hours, like if you were making coffees at Dunkin' Donuts, and I say Dunkin' Donuts because it's like my second favorite place in the world, but if you were making coffees at Dunkin' Donuts for a paycheck, you would be spending more than 2 hours working, right? If you actually sat down and actually prospected for 2 hours a day, you would be amazed at what your business can look like. So
Yeah,
what
so that's
what would
10
you
hours.
do?
If
I
we're
was
only
gonna
doing
say,
it Monday through Friday, it's only
hmm,
10 hours a week.
right. So what would you
10
do with 10
hours.
hours? 10 hours.
I'd be reaching out to my sphere, and it doesn't have to be, do you want to buy or sell? Do you have any friends? Like, it
Hmm.
can just be, hey, I saw your kids went to this softball camp. Saw they got a black eye. Everyone okay? Do y'all need anything?
Yep.
It could be, you could do open houses. That's
Hmm.
2 hours on a Saturday or a Sunday. Make it four. Do a couple of them. It could be that content creation as long as you're doing content that's reaching the audiences you intend it to reach. Don't make
Right.
stuff for other realtors. I think that's where a lot, like, oh, this is funny. I'm going to drag another agent into my trunk and pretend I killed him. Huh. No, that doesn't tell clients how you work. Like, that just is realtor humor. It could be networking. Go to that lunch and learn. Meet, for me, I like them because I go to the ones in Charlotte. There are so many agents. Actually, this is how I got the referral the other day. Agents in Mooresville were reaching out for leads in Gaston County. And if you're not local, that's an hour and 15 minutes. She
Mm-hmm.
knew. She was like, no, you're not going to be. You're going to give this to showing agents. It could just be that follow up. Like, hey, I know we talked about this house the other day. I haven't heard from you. Or, 6 months ago, you mentioned you wanted to sell in a year. I just want to let you know how the market's doing right now, what it looks like. So maybe does that change your timeline at all or keep you informed? It
Mm-hmm.
could be community involvement. Like, I'm on that board, that committee for the city. And I've met more business owners and other people who have introduced me and I know shared my name. That's not why I'm on the board. Like, it's just a perk, but it's helpful.
Yeah.
Those are the things I would be doing. I think there's some myths too, like I need more followers, I need better branding, I need paid leads, I need another certification, I need a better market. No, like this might sound rude, you just need to work more. Like there are a lot of us who have survived the last couple years where people are dropping out of this business because we did pivot, we did do the things, we went back old school. We couldn't just post a video and 800 people wanted to use us, or
Yeah.
stick a sign in the yard and the house sold in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's you got to work for it. So I think for the next, like if you are in a place where like, God, I need business now, for the next 7 days, you shouldn't be signing up for another course or redesigning your logo. You need to have the conversations. Call people, text them, go get coffee. Even if it's no one can meet you for coffee, go work in a coffee shop with your realtor t-shirt and your realtor sticker on your laptop. I've gotten a lead that way. Like people are like, oh, you sell real estate? Or talk to the people in the coffee shop. Like how many times, or like, how's your day going? Are you working? My nail girl always asks me, how's the market? What's going on? Eventually that might lead to a referral.
Yeah, because nail girls talk, man. They talk to the next
Yes.
client and the next client. And when they're talking about, oh, I'm getting a divorce and we need to sell the house, guess what? She
Yep.
says,
Yeah.
I know who you can call.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yes, in the words of Taylor, if you are in that 6 to 12, 5 to 30, whatever range of deals, and you want the next up, it's the prospecting, it's the lead generation. That's what you need to be working on.
Hmm.
It's not the fluff, it's not the rebranding, it's that other stuff. So,
It's the
on
eat,
that note,
sleep, breathe prospecting.
yes, exactly. Exactly. But on that note, we will let you guys go and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
We just finished another episode of Contracts and Chaos, but believe me, the chaos does not stop here. So check out the show notes for our email address and where to follow us on socials, and we will see you next week.